been here for a long time.
The musical consistency and durability, none of his generation can match it. And over the past 25 years, he's earned more gold records than any country artist in history. He's had more CMA Award nominations than anyone ever, and he's had also more #1 country hits than any artist. Let's give it up one more time for a real Hall of Famer, the great George Strait.
George Strait really is the bookends of my career so far. He's the guy that I grew up listening to with my dad on the radio. He was the first guy that took me out on the road with him back when I was first starting out. And at the end of the night now, when the show's over, you can usually find me on the bus at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning listening to George Strait. So he's always been there for me, and he's just one of the greatest acts ever in country music, and one of the greatest bands you can ever go on tour with as an artist. And as a fan, there's no greater concert than a George Strait concert.
I think my favorite memory of George Strait is when I was headlining my very first rodeo at the San Antonio Rodeo. And someone pulled me aside and said, you have a special guest, you have a surprise guest in your dressing room. And I walked in and it was George. And I just spent the entire last year touring, opening up for him, for his shows. And the fact that he came and showed up for me at my very first headline rodeo really showed what a supportive guy he is and what a great person he is to do that, knowing how much it would mean to me. And I'm so excited that you guys are there all supporting him, and I can't wait to see what's next for him.
He's probably the coolest cowboy in the last 100 years. You know, I love him. I think he's a great entertainer, great singer, and I think the songs that he has put out over my short life have been nothing less than spectacular. So more kudos, George.
Hey, George. It was always a blast getting to tour with you. Thanks so much for taking me out to play those shows. And where else can you hear that many hit songs in one night? I'm looking forward to the music you still yet to make too. Love you.
Yeah, I think my favorite memory of touring with George Strait can't be narrowed down to one moment or one night. You'd have to count every single night I stood on the side of that stage, normally somewhere around where Norma was sitting, because she always has the best seat in the house when it comes to a George Strait concert. And just watching him perform these hits, you know, hit after hit after hit. I mean, it's just, it's amazing to have met one of your heroes. But it's a completely different thing when you can say that you've been on tour with one of them. And George Strait, he gave me that opportunity, and I'll never forget it.
It was Legion Field, Birmingham, Alabama. He was on a Nokia tour. My buddy Darrell and I had met up that day at the Jack Daniels stand. We were able to stand around and have a few drinks too many while our girlfriends were off in the bathroom. And long story short, I decided it was a good idea to go hop the fence and make my way to the stage to try to meet George. And the Birmingham police explained to me later that that was not a good idea at all. But later on, George did go and cut my song and kind of gave me a career in country music. And thank you, George.
Hey George, I just wanted to let you know how much fun I had on tour last year. It was a complete career highlight for me. I think the most fun was just getting to come out and see you sing every night. I mean, who can say that they get to walk out and see George Strait sing every night, night after night? It was amazing. And you know, you've just had such an amazing career. We all look up to you. I think everybody wants to be George Strait when they grow up. And you're just really special. You're in your own league. You set a great example for all of us. And congratulations, and I'll see you on the road.
Hey George, Alan Jackson. You've shared a lot of music with a lot of people, and you know what inspiration you've always been for me in my career. I appreciate you letting me be a part of your music a few times over the years. I see you, man.
Seems like yesterday, this cowboy guy broke on the country music scene, and people would go crazy. It was like Elvis or the Beatles came to town. And I told myself, I said, someday I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. I want to get the right hat. I want to get the right shirt. I want to get the right pants, the boots, all that stuff. And I want to be George Strait.
George Strait is without a doubt the king, and I am a self-proclaimed George Strait wannabe. The 2 years I spent on the road with George were the most educational 2 summers of my touring life, and in a lot of ways. And George, I love you. I want you to know that I appreciate your friendship, and I'm proud to call you my hero and my friend, and I can't wait to see what's next, brother.
I love touring with George Strait. I think the most memorable thing that I can talk about the tour is that the parties that we'd have after opening night or at the end of the tour, and they'd always bring out these wigs. Did you ever see George Strait in a wig? It's really funny, really cute, really funny. Whether it's dreadlocks or really a curly hair wig, really cute. George, you can sport a wig. You go, boy. George, thanks for everything. We had a great time touring together, and I hope you have a wonderful tour this year.
There's a lot of things that I could say about George Strait. I could talk about how he influenced me. I could talk about my years of growing up listening to George Strait. I think one of the best memories I have is the 3 years I spent touring with George. One night at the end of the tour party, my wife, being all pregnant, I don't know how far along she was, but she was a long way along, and she didn't want to get off the stage, so we had to put a chair up on the stage with her because she didn't want to get off the stage with George Strait. So she sat there all night till 4 in the morning singing songs with George Strait at the end of the tour party. I could say all those things, and there'd be great memories and things that really made an impression on me about George Strait. But the thing that I'd probably like to say more than anybody, and it's about his contribution to country music and what it means to all of us. And I think if you took someone who had never set foot on earth before, somebody that from totally off of this planet, like somebody from New York or LA, and you wanted to show them what country music meant, what it was all about, first thing that I would do is I would take an album of George Strait, any album, it doesn't matter what album that you played them, I'd give them a set of headphones. And I would say, if you took the whole universe of country music with all its different voices, with all its different styles of music, with all its different sounds, and you wanted to put it in a nutshell, what it meant to us, listen to this. This is the essence of what we are. This is the essence of who we are. This is the essence of what we believe in. This is what encompasses country music from the beginnings of country music to where it is now. This is something that means everything to us. And I would play on that George Strait record, and I'd say, here, give it a rip. It might change your world, because I know it changed mine.
This is where the cowboy rides away.
This is where the cowboy rides away.